Hello everyone, welcome to the Now What podcast, episode 10. My name is Glenn Sharp. I'm the president and CEO of Sharp Leadership Developments. This is a little bit of a special podcast. If you notice, I got some decorations around me. Obviously, this is our Thanksgiving week, and if you're watching this when this episode drops, it is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. But this episode is all about praise. It's all about making sure you're thankful, but it's really about recognition, and that's what we're going to focus on. If you've been following the podcast, you know it's pretty much based on my new book that came out, Now What? The book is about the character Johnny. Johnny is an outstanding manager in the airline industry, and he was a fantastic mechanic, and because he was an amazing mechanic, they made him a manager. Now what? He does not turn wrenches anymore. Now he is doing the things that managers do. And in the book, specifically in the final coaching session, we go over kind of recapping a little bit, kind of a capstone. After I teach him how to do performance correction and things like that, conflict resolution, we talk about praise, we talk about recognition specifically, and that's what this episode is going to be about. It's going to be specifically about why it's so important to recognize employees. So I get asked a lot in my coaching, what's the difference between a good manager and a great manager? And Johnny asked me the same question in our coaching, and it's obviously a great question, but I want to make sure I put it in very simple terms for you guys, but also give you some research to back it up. You've got the famous book, The Carrot Principle, and this is a fantastic book. It's based on over 5,000 respondents all across different industries. It's a fantastic resource, but if you notice some of the cool parts about this book, it gives you some statistics in regards to recognition, and that's really what the Carrot Principle is about. It's about providing carrots, right? So recognition to your folks. If you notice on the screen, you see some statistics. Let's start with the good news. The average turnover rate of employees with a clear reward strategy is 13 points lower than that of organizations without one. Companies in the highest quartile of recognition of excellence report an operating margin of 6.6%, while those in the lowest, 1%. So obviously there is some stats right there. There is some real tangible evidence that recognize your employees is a good thing. Then there's the bad news. 79% of employees cite their job's lack of appreciation as a key reason for leaving. And this is the one I really want to focus on, this last bullet point. 65% of North Americans report that they weren't recognized in the least bit the previous year. 65%. And my question to audiences all the time is, do you believe that? It's incredible how many of them agree, shake their head in the affirmative in the classes. And I'm shocked by that, in a way. But then I go back to some of my days and some of the issues and some of the companies that are experiencing high turnover and the issues associated with high turnover and productivity rates and efficiency rates and morale and everything else. And I once worked with a company that literally had some of the lowest recognition scores I've ever seen. I mean, they were 51%. And the interesting part about this company is that they offered a $500 gift card every single year for employees. Yet their recognition scores were so low. And you would think $500 gift card, that's what the employees want, but that's not really what they want, was it? They wanted thank you. They wanted their boss to have a meaningful conversation with them. They wanted to make sure that their boss communicated with them. And how about a thank you every once in a while? How about recognizing that they went above and beyond, or they worked overtime or something along those lines? So it was pretty interesting how the powers that be in this organization thought the $500 gift card's enough, correct? Yet their turnover rates were unbelievably high. They could not keep good people, and of course their recognition scores followed suit. So that's one of the things I want you guys to think about in relation to the question that I asked you, what's the difference between a good manager and a great manager? In my opinion, it's the little things. Right? So for example, how many of you guys have done something nice for your employees when they didn't even ask for it? So I'll ask audiences, when was the last time, for example, you've done something nice? And someone will inevitably say, well, I bought them pizza, or we took a break and I brought in some donuts or things like that. And I say to them, all right, tell me about the atmosphere. When you bought them pizza, like what was the atmosphere like in the room? And typically they say things like, well, it was jovial, it was energetic, people were smiling, slapping each other on the back, just having a blast. So then I kind of changed the paradigm a little bit. I asked them, is that the first time they've ever eaten pizza? And of course they get a chuckle and they go, of course not. Well, what's with the reaction? I ask. What's with the reaction? Why were they so happy when you bought them pizza? And the answer is you showed them respect. And that's the interesting part about recognition. What a lot of employers don't realize is what employees are looking for is respect. I have a client who literally, I asked them one time, do you spend time with your employees? And they go, sure we do. And I go, well, when do you spend time with your employees? And they say, well, we're down in the manufacturing floor all the time. And I go, okay, well, what do you do when you're down on the manufacturing floor? Well, we pass through the manufacturing floor to meet our clients and to meet with them in the executive rooms. And I go, that's not spending time on the manufacturing floor. Think about this for a second. Imagine if you're an employee and you are working your 6th straight week of overtime, you're sweating to death in a hot manufacturing facility around machines all day, and you're gross, and you are willing to go above and beyond. You're willing to do whatever it takes for your employer. And just by happenstance, one of the executives or a couple of executives come walking toward you and they say nothing to you on the way to meet a client. Fair or unfair? If you're that employee, what do you think? And the answer is, based on all the employee feedback that I've gotten, is they think you're a jerk. Now, nothing could be further from the truth. Most people that I know, in fact, the client that actually told me this story, he's not a jerk. He's actually a fabulous person, but he didn't even realize the consequences of his actions. He didn't even realize the effect on the employees. And it's not fair to the executive, but it also is not fair to the employees. These guys, all they want is respect, especially if you work in the manufacturing space. Respect is everything for these guys. They might not have the degree that you do. They might not have the experience that you do, but these guys are smart, right? They might be a little rough around the edges, but they're smart and they want some respect. Show them respect and they will definitely stay, right? Or they definitely will stay longer. Don't show them respect and job be damned, they will react, right? And it's incredible how proud they are, and they will react if they feel like they've been disrespected. And so many executives, so many middle and upper managers don't realize just how important it is to respect employees. And respect takes many, many forms. A simple thank you, right? We're celebrating Thanksgiving this week and being thankful for some of these guys who go above and beyond for you. They work so hard for you, going out of your way to say thank you, going out of your way to surprise them with something. Here's an example. How hard would it be to go to Kroger or Publix or one of the larger supermarkets that have this big wall of gift cards? And just on a whim, you go there and you find out something about each of your employees and you buy them something specific to their interests. I love to play golf. Rather than just buying a generic gift card, imagine if you bought me a Golf Galaxy gift card. Imagine if you bought somebody a Bass Pro Shop gift card who you knew was into hunting or fishing or whatever. Something specific, like a young lady who loves arts and crafts, buy her Michaels gift card, right? Imagine if you did something like that, how much further we'll go, showing individuals that you actually thought about them. So a lot of people dismiss this. And I'll go in and coach and I'll go in and train, and they don't dismiss it when their turnover levels are double industry average, and it's costing them literally millions of dollars every year in turnover costs. It's incredible how just the little things that aren't on your job description, and that's what I told Johnny in the book. I told him, the difference between a good manager or a great manager is the little things, but it's also the difference between a great dad and a mediocre dad, a great mom and a mediocre mom. It's things that you don't have to do, but you do anyway. So for example, I've never seen on a job description that you have to say thank you to an employee. I've never seen on a job description that you have to buy your employees pizza. I've never seen on a job description, this actually happened with one of my clients, that you have to go to your employee's mom's funeral and you didn't even know the mom. Imagine the reaction of the employee when you walked into that funeral and you see your boss, and what an amazing sight that is for them, that your boss actually cares about you and your family. I'll end with this story that I think is something that creates the best point I could possibly make, but also is a true story. I have a client down in Florida, and they told me that, the employee told me that on Friday, after 2 long weeks of just horrible, horrible experiences, they found themselves going up to the office and dropping something off at HR. And it was late. It was like 7 o'clock on a Friday, and they didn't expect anybody to be there. But lo and behold, just by dumb luck, the general manager, the head of the facility, walked out of his office, and they just met. And he goes, "Hey man, do you mind if I talk to you for a second?" And the employee says, "Yeah, sure." The general manager goes, "Well, go ahead and step into the boardroom. I'd like to say something before you leave." He says, "Listen, I know you guys have really been humping it out there. I know you guys have had a lot of overtime. It's really hot. I know you guys have been sweating out there in the hangars. Right? I also know the client is a real pain in the butt, and they are very high maintenance. I also know that deliveries were screwed up and things that were totally outside of your control were happening. And I know how hard you guys have been working. I just want you to know that we recognize that. I want you to know that we see it. And please accept my sincere gratitude for everything that you do. Please tell your people, right, that we really appreciate them a lot. I know you have a 2-day weekend coming up, well-deserved. It's been a while since you've been with your family. Please do me a favor and do not bring your laptop home. Don't bring your cell phone home. Leave it here. We'll handle it from here, all right? We'll take care of things, all right? You deserve your break. Thank you for everything you do." So the employee, obviously shakes his hand and says, "Thanks, that means a lot," and goes down to his car and doesn't even put the keys in the ignition, he told me. He just sat there for a couple of moments, and he said to me, "You know what the first thing that I thought after he said that to me? It was worth it." Imagine. It was worth it. All that sweat, blood, tears, all that stuff that they did over the course of those 2 weeks. And his first mindset was, it was worth it. And I ask audiences all the time, how much did it take for that general manager to say that to that employee? And of course the answer is nothing, right? How much time did it take? 5 minutes, tops, right? He went out of his way to do something that he didn't have to do, was not on his job description. He did it because it's the right thing to do, but he also understands people. He understands how important it is to take care of his people, but also it was face-to-face, wasn't it? It was not via email. That's the last thing he would have done. It's so important to actually show up on the job site and say thank you. Or in this particular case, it was just dumb luck that they met at the office. But he did it in person. And it's incredible, especially these days with technology and how many folks communicate remotely, how important the one-on-one conversation is and looking someone in the eye. So I encourage you guys to think about that, especially this week. Being thankful for your family, being thankful for all the gifts that God has given you. That's a great thing, no doubt about it. But don't forget your employees, especially the ones that go above and beyond for you, especially the ones that really carry the lion's share of work. Go out of your way to do the little things. I don't want to create an environment where you don't do that already. I realize that many of you do that. My question to you, if I was coaching you, is, do you do it often enough? Have you forgotten how important that is? Or have you gotten so busy that you've forgotten just really how much that matters to an employee? And can you do it a little more? And that's all I ask you guys to think about, especially as you spend time with your families. Make sure that you go out of your way for your employees. It will pay dividends for you tenfold. I hope that helps you guys. I hope you guys all have a happy Thanksgiving. In our next episode for next week, we're going to go over the performance appraisal. It is performance appraisal season for many of you. I know I have several clients that reminded me of this. I just had a coaching session today where they reminded me of the performance appraisal. There's lots of cool techniques that we will go over in the performance appraisal. So that will be our next episode, in episode 11. So we'll look forward to that. In the meantime, I wish you guys the best of luck. Good luck in your management leadership journey, and I will see you in episode 11.